I do want to talk about this. So if you are on Patreon and you listen to the Secret Truth Meter, you can skip this part. But this was a discussion going on in the Telegram group. And that group is heavily monitored. So if you're one of these vampires that are out there attacking and you want to try to join, you're going to be heavily monitored. It's called Truth Meter Channel, but if you want in the tribe, that's where you can comment and discuss things. So anyway, one of the people, I'm doing this separately here so I don't say the person's name because I don't know if they want me to put it out there publicly. But one of the people in here brought up something really, really just brilliant. So what I did was I posted a video about this situation in Peru where there's these tribal people got attacked by 7-foot tall aliens in these suits, and they would float up in the sky. They had something on their feet that made them levitate, and you know what that sounds like, right? So anyway, this is all over the news in that area, and it was yesterday. So they don't know if this is disclosure or if this is something they're trying to cover up, the guys that were covering this news. But anyway, I posted that, and then this was one of the people in the Truth Meter tribe. This was their response. And I'm just going to read through because it leads to something super interesting. Why Peru? That's a good question. Last Sunday, I was out in nature trying to find some quiet below a tree. Suddenly, I had this thought about the targeted burning down of trees and the deforestation of the Amazon rainforest. Going further, there's my screen jumping again. Going further, communicating with the tree, I saw that in the Amazon rainforest seemed to be quite a few matrix glitches going on, like my computer, in the rainforest due to the strong presence of flora and fauna, as well as indigenous people working together with nature there to deconstruct the matrix or at least resist it in some way. So that's really good news. I couldn't go and explore this further, though. Now I am wondering, do any of you have some further insights on the Amazon rainforest? What role does it play here? Furthermore, recently I came across the information that there are plants here which are true, in quotes, true, copied from the real, true thing outside of the matrix reality. And there are some which are false and nothing but a part of this virtual reality. Orchids, for example, supposedly are not real and simply a false matrix plant, which probably is not a good thing. I do not remember where I heard it. I need to backtrack the last couple of weeks to find out. In the meantime, has anyone else heard about some plants being true and some being false? And I responded to this. And I said, not sure about the Amazon or Peru, but it needs looking into. This would make sense with the plants and trees being the same as humans, some souls, some robotoids. When I wrote my book, which has over 300, so this is my Nature Talk book, which has over 300 conversations with crystals, trees, plants, and animals, I mostly talked to the soul groups, but the information I was getting was that they move them around to different realms depending on contracts. And when something is going extinct, it is getting moved. Maybe they replace some of the species with fakes like placeholders. Here is what the orchid oversoul said to me. So this is from my book when I was speaking to the orchids. We prefer warm tropical climates and their growing conditions. So I asked what humans can do for orchid. Do not hybridize us. Let us be beautiful in our own way. Symbolism. We are beacons of hope and represent the unbeaten spirit. So there's obviously real orchids, but maybe the ones here currently are fake. Maybe the real ones have been moved out. I don't know. So then this person in here said, somebody mentioned shamans in Peru. And this person said, though I have become wary of these shamans dealing with plant medicine, it would be interesting to get more information about the rainforest in general, what role it plays here, and maybe also why it is being targeted. This also now just reminded me of this tree I read about once. It's called Noya Reo, and it supposedly has leaves which glow in the dark. Similarly to other plant medicines, such as ayahuasca, it is also being abused as a so-called master plant in ceremonies. Now I know that whatever ayahuasca and possibly other plant medicine does is to pretend and to blind. It's a trap in itself, and I stepped in it a couple of years ago. So it's to pretend and to bind. It's a trap. It's interesting. To me, whatever entity is behind ayahuasca is either very similar to the Gaia entity, which I think is a demon, or even the same thing, the same entity. Nothing good about that at all, unfortunately. Then this now loops me back to wondering about the true plants versus false plants question above. It is apparent that there is an agenda behind the recreational use of plants, which would indicate that these plants are part of the virtual matrix. If indigenous people use these plants to gain access to other realms or gain insights, are the tribes using these plants not compromised or blinded by the matrix manipulation fed to them through these plant experiences? Certainly, there is more to this topic and most definitely more to explore. So what I inserted here in the Secret Truth Meter video was that when Sam and I went in to do some work on the world, I don't remember what we were doing at the time, but we have still been working on things here. Because I don't want to just find the way out. I want to take this down or at least change it enough where we can stay here for a little bit. We were doing something and all these indigenous people came in like from all over the place and they were telling us that they got deceived. So these indigenous spirits. All right, so let's keep going. So here's what I responded. Wow, I felt some of the plants here not good. Here is what I wrote about ayahuasca. It's just what you said. So I'm going to read out of my book right now about ayahuasca, which is what I did on the other video, because it's highly interesting based on what this person just said. Ayahuasca, contrary to popular belief, this is not a plant, but a mix of plants and drugs in a tea. I don't know how to pronounce this, but the Banisteriopsis caapi plant reflects the DNA model and the levels of dimensions here by its shape. It is used in ayahuasca and is binding and can hold you here in this reality, which is exactly what this person said. Parts of us are poisonous. So this is the plant talking. And I don't remember a lot of what's in this book because I didn't write it. A lot of it's conversations from these plants are talking or these animals. Parts of us are poisonous. The berries we produce warn you of this. The extreme visions you experience are altering your DNA and your capacity to access your true self. We can bind you to this realm so that your soul never escapes because you lose access to your natural abilities. So, I wrote here, due to a deep desire to know the truth of this reality and what has been kept from us, many seek out the use of hallucinogenic plants and or drugs for answers. However, truth can and should be found in a natural way by accessing your own soul. All right, so ayahuasca said symbolism, lure and temptation. And then here is my here's my author note. Ayahuasca tea uses the Banisteriopsis caapi plant mixed with other plants to make the concoction. Disreputable so-called shamans who run ceremonies can mix in whatever they want, such as cocaine, nicotine, DMT, caffeine, etc. All right. So then let's see where this conversation went from here. So then I looked up hemp. Because I have hemp in my book. And this is not judging anybody using these. This is just putting out information, and it's very unpopular information. So, but it is what it is. I mean, so this is me talking to the hemp plant. But hemp and marijuana, just words differentiating the difference in THC levels. All right. So this is what the hemp plant said. We are a foreign plant to this world. So I wrote here, I get the sense that hemp was brought here from somewhere else or by some race. I am hearing dark lords. That's the sense the plant was giving me. So we are a foreign plant to this world. So they were brought here by the dark lords. And we grow prolifically. We are strong and hardy, and many things can be made of our fiber, but the THC is always a temptation for the lost, depressed, or lonely. Smoking us ties you to the place where marijuana is from and to these beings. So they're referencing the Dark Lords. It is an act of giving permission. So I asked, can it ever be smoked without the dangers of getting attachments or making contracts with these entities? And the hemp oversoul, so to speak, said, yes, but the danger to this outweighs the chances that you escape this unscathed. It is why it is so heavily pushed, while at the same time taken away, and I put legally, then given back legally. It makes you want us, hence the nature of temptation pushed by the entities we are tied with. We are an infiltration here in plant form, such as these entities have infiltrated here. And once in the cycle of the high, this knowledge will be rejected. The individual's entire focus will be getting high and defending marijuana. But you already know this. And I said, yes. We can have a positive effect, but the bad effects are not worth it. There are many other plants that could help you deal with pain, etc., if the controllers of this world would let that information out and stop polluting the plant life that is here. Using hemp as a source of paper, rope, etc., will always be tied to those who want to escape into the THC high. I feel like I'm getting hit right now with something for reading this. Getting attacked. Wow, really heavy attack. Okay, when humanity gets stronger and remembers their purpose and what this world really is, they will not need the effects of a drug to hide from pain and their true potential and power. If the true healers here could break our connection contract with the dark controllers, we would like a place here and could be used for good purposes only. So this plant wants to be part of this, but they're under contract to have bad effects. So if the true healers here could break our true healers, there's a lot of false healers out there. If the true healers here could break our connection contract with the dark controllers, we would like a place here and could be used for good purposes only. Symbolism, deception, stuck in a mindset. So here's my author's note. Marijuana is a hallucinogenic drug whose benefits are not worth the spiritual cost to the individual. Stand by my unpopular opinion, which is based on many years of observation. I do see marijuana opening portals to a user's aura and energy field for entities to attach. So this conversation makes sense to me. I'm talking about the conversation with the plant. It also keeps the individual who is searching for spiritual truth stuck in a certain place for years and not moving on to more truth. And this effect is not apparent to the person using this drug. There goes my screen jumping again. That is so weird. It is also said to interfere or stop serotonin production in the brain, which is mood regulating, causing a daily user to be in a nightmare mood in the mornings until they have had a hit. So if true, then marijuana is addictive emotionally, mentally, socially, and physically. As with any plant, you should be communicating with it to understand how it wants to be used properly from a spiritual perspective, such as how often or if at all. All right, so I'm probably going to leave this video here and I'm going to have to deal with the situation right now because I feel like I'm getting attacked by something really, really heavy duty. I haven't had this much of an attack before. So wondering if talking about the plants bringing it in. But so I'm going to go take care of that and get this up. I'm trying to lay low. Obviously, the topics I'm talking about are not laying low or under the definition of laying low. But so I'll probably be talking more on Patreon or somewhere private